I'm Nirav Bora from Research Advisory Desk of Motilal Oswal. I would be talking on investing in volatile times. So, thank you for participating in this webinar. We'll be discussing about the markets, what has happened, how things have shaped up, and what would be the way forward. So, as we all know that coronavirus is now already present in more than 180 countries and territories around the world. And WHO on 12th of March declared this particular virus as a pandemic. So as on date, as we are talking, around 31.6 lakhs cases have been registered across the globe, and more than 31,000 cases have been registered in India. The number of deaths which have been registered across the globe is more than 2,20,000 odd, and in India it is somewhere around more than 1,000. So this particular thing started way back in 2019 on 17th of November in the Wuhan city of China, after which it got spread to many other countries, especially the European countries, US, then the Asian nations also. So if you have seen the global equity markets in last 2 to 3 months, there has been a huge selling. Most of the countries have corrected significantly, anywhere between 20 to 40%. So in this particular chart, you can see that most of the countries have corrected from 20 to 35%. Brazil down 35%. India has gone down by 30%. From the peak, if you look from 12,400 odd levels on Nifty, we correctly sharply till 7,500 levels, which is approximately 40%. So in FY 1920, that is the last financial year, Nifty declared by almost 26%. So from 1st of April 2019 till 31st of March 2020, Nifty was down almost 26%. So we have seen such kind of periods in past also. So you can see from the charts, FY 92 to FY 2000, we had gone down once by 48%. Again, from 2001 till FY 2010, we had gone down 2 times, 25% down in a single year, again 36% down. And again, between FY 11 to FY 20, we went down 26% in FY 20. So Nifty had gone down broadly by 26%. Apart from that, the other indices like Midcap 100, Nifty Midcap 100 corrected sharply by 36%. Nifty Small Cap 100 corrected by 47%. So it was a broad-based selling. Not only the Nifty stocks, but a lot of other stocks from the entire universe have corrected sharply. Sectorally, if you see, most of these sectors have been affected significantly. Like media has gone down by almost 60%, metals down 48%, autos 43%, banks have corrected almost 40%, real estate corrected by 35%. So most of the sectors have gone down significantly. There were few sectors where the impact of this particular pandemic and hence the lockdown was not very significant. So the sectors like FMCG, that is consumption, technology, pharma, these sectors relatively outperformed Nifty in the last financial year, that is in FY 20. So till 31st March 2020, you can see consumer space was down 10%, technology was down 18%, pharma was down 23%. But again, in this particular financial year, that is FY 21, in last 1 month, that is in this particular month of April, we have seen FMCG, many stocks coming up sharply. We have seen the broader indices coming up sharply. Most of the stocks have taken a huge rebound. Pharma sector has outperformed significantly. Most of the stocks have come up by anywhere between 15 to 40%. So overall, this has been a pullback rally. We can say it's a relief rally of a bear market. So going forward, we need to understand how particular things shape up, how long it will take for this particular pandemic to recede, how long we will come out of this particular mess. So a lot of FI money had been pulled out in the month of March. So if you look at the chart, almost 62,000 crores was taken away in the month of March itself by FIs. But at the same time, 55,000 odd crores were invested, came in the Indian markets through the DII route. So there was some kind of support which was provided by the domestic institutions, but FIs were completely in the selling spree. So having said that, as I told you that Nifty corrected by almost 40% in the month of March, after which we have seen a sharp pullback of around 20-25% in most of the stocks and in the broader index also. But still the valuations are at multi-year lows. So if you look at this particular chart, in last, let's say 10 years, since March 2005 till 10-15 years, obviously, the long-term average of PE, that is price to earning of Nifty, has been somewhere around 18.5. Again, in the month of January 2020, when the markets were at their new highs, when Nifty had touched almost 12,400, Nifty PE on a trailing basis was at 28.8 times. So it was much above its last 15-year average of 18.5. And after this particular correction of almost 40%, the Nifty PE fell sharply to almost less than 16. And again, right now, after this particular pullback, which has happened in the month of April, we are still hovering at around 19-20 levels on a trailing basis, as far as Nifty PE is concerned. So still, if you compare, we are still reasonably placed at this point in time, much lower than the average. Again, from price to book, as far as Nifty is concerned, the long-term average has been somewhere around 3.1 levels. Again, after this particular sharp correction of 40%, we went down to almost 2 levels as far as P2B was concerned, that is price to book on a trailing basis was concerned. So this is one more parameter which suggests that the valuations have significantly corrected. One more parameter, if you look here in this particular chart, it's the market cap to GDP ratio, which has again fallen sharply. So the long-term average has been somewhere around 75%. Now, if you see FY 08, that is in the year 2008, before the global financial crisis started, this particular ratio had touched 150%. The peak was 150% in December of 2007. So also in the month of January 2008, we were somewhere around 83-85%. And right now, after this particular correction, we are somewhere around 55 to 60%. So all these parameters clearly suggest that the valuations have come down, markets have corrected, stocks have corrected. But the most important thing is we need to understand how these markets will react in the coming months, because after the sharp fall of 40%, there has been a sharp pullback too of 20-25%. So in this particular month, that is April, we have seen most of the stocks coming up, good quality stocks coming up, though mid and small caps have not participated in this rally. And it would be difficult to understand going forward what would be the scenario, because it's an unprecedented event. There is a lot of unpredictability. So coming months will get to know and understand how things shape up and how the markets react. Whether there is again a sharp fall in the market, whether the markets further move up from the current levels of 9,500 to maybe 10,000 levels, or maybe 10,500 levels, if at all some good news come out. And again, if there are some set of bad news coming in, then definitely the markets might again take a beating. So let's see the economic impact of this particular pandemic on the global economies as well as on India. So if you look at the global economy, definitely the entire globe has taken a hit. There has been a crisis kind of a situation everywhere in the developed as well as the developing nations. A lot of countries which are having GDPs in the range of 2 to 3%, they will definitely get revised. Most of them will be in the negative territory going forward. So overall, IMF has also, declared that a lot of countries might, get into a recession if this particular pandemic prolongs for a long period of time. So especially US, European nations, UK, these are the countries where already they were struggling in terms of GDP growth. And because of this particular event, it might affect their balance sheets, and hence the GDP growth data might get revised big time. Also, India, which was having a GDP of around little less than 5%, We also might see some kind of revision as far as GDP numbers are concerned, and IMS has also declared that we might see a revision to less than 2%. So this is an interesting space which we'll have to watch. Q4 numbers have already started. Q1 will be definitely very bad in terms of the corporate earnings. That's when the GDP data will be affected the most. So the times will say how things shape up. So especially after this particular pandemic, a lot of countries have taken some steps in terms of rolling out these stimulus packages, giving some kind of support to the economies, to the financial markets. So what have the governments, the central banks done? So especially if you see, there have been rate cuts in many countries. There have been stimulus packages been declared to the extent of 15 to 20% of their respective GDPs. So if you look at this particular chart, US has almost given an unlimited QE. They have declared an unlimited QE wherein they will pump in liquidity to support their financial markets. They have said that it all depends on how things shape up, and we will keep on pumping in money. We'll keep on buying the government bonds. We'll keep on buying the junk bonds and give the support in every possible manner. So almost 11% of the GDP has been, declared in terms of the stimulus package. If you look at the Spain and Germany numbers, 15% of GDP, 21% of GDP has been declared in terms of the stimulus packages. So a lot of central banks, economies are doing their best to support their financial institutions. Also, India so far has almost declared 0.8 to 1% of the overall GDP in terms of the packages. So let's have a look at what India has done to fight this particular pandemic. So far, the finance minister has declared a welfare package of 1.7 lakh crores. So that is somewhere around typically catering to the lower segment of the society, the poor people, the people who depend on their daily wages. So a lot of things have been declared. Some kind of packages were declared in terms of giving them the food grains, giving them the ration. So things have been taken care. Also for the insurance workers, I mean the health workers which are giving their services day in day out in a lot of various hospitals, 50 lakh crore insurance has been provided to each and every healthcare worker as the medical insurance. So this is one of the most important step which has been taken by the government. Also, FM has promised an economic relief package which will be unveiled soon. Uh, so we are expecting somewhere around 3 to 4 lakh crore kind of a stimulus package as far as India is concerned. Government has said that they would be waiting for the lockdown to open up in some parts of India, and after that probably they would be declaring this kind of package. So again, this would be an interesting space, and primarily this is one of the major reasons that market has taken a sharp pullback uh, in the anticipation that some kind of relief will be provided by government. Apart from that, RBI has also done a lot of things. They have joined government in providing relief to the Indian economy. So the first time the governor had come on media, he had declared a cut of 1% in CRR, that is the cash reserve ratio. He had reduced the repo rate by 75 bips from 5% to 4.4%. He had reduced the reverse repo rate from 4.4% to 4%. Second time when the governor came on media, they had reduced the reverse repo rate by 25 bips. So from 4%, it has gone down to 3.75% now. Again, there were a couple of packages which were declared. 50,000 crore package was declared for the financial institutions like NABARD, SIDBI. 50,000 crore package was introduced, was declared for small and medium-sized enterprises. Again, one more package of 50,000 crore was given of late for the mutual fund industry, just to ease out the liquidity, so that the financial institutions are sound enough, the NBFCs are sound enough, and the things are in proper shape. So overall, if you look at this particular package so far, as I told you, 1% of GDP has been, given in terms of the stimulus package. So somewhere around 3.74 trillion rupees of liquidity has already come into the system. So going forward, RBI has also, governor has also declared that in case there are further stress to the economy, they would definitely come out and they will participate in supporting the economy in every possible manner. So looking at the GDP numbers, as I told you, definitely India will also have a downtrend. From almost 5%, we might fall sharply to roughly 2%. So the India's June quarter GDP could decline by roughly 12%, and real GDP growth could be less than 3% in FY20 and maybe 4% in FY21, or even less depending upon the extent of the lockdown. So as I told you, a lot of things are unpredictable. It's an ongoing thing. So as and when the things shape up and pan out, we'll understand in a better way. So what would be the impact on earnings now? So already the Q4 numbers have started. Many companies, corporates have started declaring their Q4 numbers. So more or less, we see that Nifty would be factoring somewhere around 15% earnings cut already. It has already done, because we have seen that most of the stocks have corrected anywhere between 15 to 50, 60% also. So Motamoti, we see that 30% fall in Nifty from the Jan peak. Its valuation have already come down, to 15%, which is the 10-year average. Also, there are various sectors which will have a larger impact of this particular lockdown. Say, for example, autos, energy, financials, infrastructure, construction, capital goods, engineering, metals. So all these sectors, they would be factoring in more than 20% earnings cut, because we have seen most of these stocks also getting corrected by anywhere between 30 to 50%. Some sectors which possibly will be more resilient in the current environment would be consumption, telecom, healthcare. So these are few sectors wherein the impact of this particular lockdown on the corporate earnings might not be very severe. So as I told you, corporate earnings have started. Q4 numbers have started rolling in. Wipro, TCS, Infosys, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, they have declared their results. Many companies are, withdrawing the guidance numbers, which means that they are not giving the guidance for Q1, which precisely means that even the management is not clear and sure what is going to happen in quarter 1. Because of the lockdown, a lot of things have gone haywire. I mean, there has been stress as far as the logistics is concerned. Overall, things are unpredictable. So they have not given the guidance for Q1 numbers, which from which we can definitely sense that a lot of unpredictability is there because of the ongoing pandemic. So let us have a look on several sectors which would have some kind of effect, on the balance sheets of major companies. So if you look at pharma and drugs, healthcare, typically, as I told you, the impact would not be very significant. In fact, in last 1 month, most of the stocks have gone up, because pharma sector is one sector which has been underperforming for last 4-5 years. And because of this pandemic, we have seen a lot of traction going on in this particular sector. A lot of countries have ordered different types of drugs. So we have exported different types of drugs, the famous being hydrochloroquine. So a lot of companies are, doing research day in, day out to figure out some kind of vaccine or some kind of medicine with the help of which this particular pandemic can be completely, vanished. So obviously the recovery period in this particular sector will be short term. There are few sectors like retail, wholesale, which will have a severe impact, obviously, because the things are completely under lockdown, and most of the things are unpredictable. Moving ahead, textile sector will have a moderate impact, and the recovery will also be short term, because even today there is demand for cotton, there is demand for gauges, cotton rolls, etc. Because a lot of PPE kits are being manufactured. So this particular sector will have a moderate impact, and the recovery will also be short term. There are few sectors like automobile, logistics, where the impact will be high and severe. Again, because as I told you, aviation is completely shut. There is no transportation happening. So definitely these sectors will have a significant impact. Apart from that, there are various other sectors like entertainment, jewelry, tourism, hospitality, where if you see, these will be the biggest, these will be the sectors which will have a biggest impact on their balance sheets, because if you look at their businesses, they have completely shut at this point in time. So if you compare something like an FMCG company like HUL or a Nestle, and if you compare some aviation stock or maybe some hotel company, then you can say that HUL is still manufacturing. I mean, it's still supplying the products in the market, and we the end consumers are still consuming their products. But something like an Indian hotel where they have an inventory of 200 rooms, but the occupancy is completely zero. So not a single rupee sales have been happening. Similarly, all the malls are shut, the cinema halls are shut, so the entertainment business is completely shut. Tourism, if you look, there is no tourism happening at this point in time. Aviation is completely shut. So these sectors will be definitely having a very severe impact. So it's better to stay away from such sectors at this point in time. Again, if you look at certain sectors like small and micro businesses, the long-term impact will be definitely there. The impact will be very severe. Banking is one sector. Again, the impact will be high, and it will take some time, couple of quarters maybe, or maybe a year's time to recover from that particular impact. So that's the reason why it's better to stick to large cap banks at this point in time, because the NPAs of the smaller banks might increase going forward in Q1 and Q2 quarters. So let's have a look at the Q4 earnings expectations. So overall, if you see, this particular pandemic will have a significant impact on Q1 numbers. Definitely Q4, the impact will be seen. But if you see, only 4 to 5 days of Q4 were under lockdown. So we might not see very severe impact of this particular lockdown on Q4, but definitely going forward on Q1, the numbers should be severely bad. So the impact of COVID and the subsequent lockdown would be felt on corporate India earnings. The guidance and outlook will be very, very important for FY21. More than Q4 FY20 earnings, it will be very important to hear the commentary of the management, what they are saying, what they are, feeling as far as Q1 would be concerned. So that outlook will be very, very important, and it would be an interesting space to watch out for. So if you look at Q4 numbers FY20, the revenue overall, we feel that there will be a decline of somewhere around 9% year on year. So the major sectors which will be impacted would be autos, utilities, energy, cement, as I told you in the previous slides also. Whereas few other sectors which would be having a significant impact would be metals, oil and gas. So if you look at this particular chart, overall revenue can be impacted by somewhere around 9%. So this had happened in the year of March 2015, where overall revenue had declined by somewhere around 11%. So almost after 5 years, this kind of a scenario is happening. If you look at quarter 4 FY20 PAT numbers, we feel that there would be an overall decline of 25%. So in last 4-5 years, if you look at this particular chart, this has happened a couple of times, but not to this extent. We had seen 10% decline in March 15. We had seen 8% decline in March 16 and March 18. But this time, because of the lockdown and probably the extended lockdown, the impact would be really severe. So not only the Nifty stocks, but the overall universe, on an average, there could be a decline of 25% year on year, which will have a significant impact going forward. So now looking at only the Nifty space, Q4 FY20 PAT overall can decline by 20% year on year. So if you see, there are several sectors which can be definitely hit, like infra, utilities, oil and gas, metals, auto. The worst being auto, because in this particular lockdown in the month of April, most of the companies would declare their sales number, which would be absolutely zero. So definitely, there would have been impact on Q4 numbers also. So Q1 will be definitely watched very, very closely. So in this kind of market scenario, what should be our strategy? How should one react? What should one do? What should the investor do at this point in time? So we saw that markets corrected by 40% and there was a lot of panic in the market. Uh, Many people must have had cash, but because they were skeptical that the markets might further correct beyond 7,500 levels, we were talking about 6,800 levels, we were talking about 7,200 levels. So many people must have not invested at 7,500, 8,000 levels and must have missed out this particular rally. Today, the markets have come up almost 25% from the 52-week lows of 7,500, and we are trading at 9,500 levels. So people must be thinking that I have missed the opportunity and let me invest at this point in time. So that would be some kind of panic buying. Again, when we were at 12,000 levels and the markets started correcting sharply, most of the people must have missed the bus to book the profits. So we saw 11,000, we saw 10,000 gradually coming, and eventually we fell sharply to 7,500. So obviously, again at that point in time, the bus must have been missed. So it's very clear that we need to avoid panic buying as well as panic selling. If you are a long-term investor, definitely you need to keep calm. You need to be patient enough. Market gives a lot of opportunities over a period of time to invest, to exit. At this point in time, you need to understand what all you have in your portfolio. You need to evaluate what all stocks you have, what all sectors you are having in the portfolio, and accordingly you have to take a decision. So this is a very famous saying of Warren Buffett: the stock market is a device for transforming money from the impatient to the patient. So the point which I'm trying to make here is very simple. You need to have a lot of patience as far as equity investments are concerned. So we have seen the markets correcting sharply many times in the past. So if you look at this particular chart, in 2000, I mean in 1996, in 98, 2000, 2001, 2004, 2006, 2008, obviously, and many other years, we have seen markets getting corrected by 20%, 25%, 30, 35, also to the extent of 65% in 2008. But every time, if you look at this particular chart, we have seen that in 6 to 12 months period, markets have again moved up sharply. So there has been a sharp pullback. In fact, again, this time also, after a 40% correction from the 52-week high, from 7,500 levels, we have seen a sharp pullback of 25%. So so this particular slide says that you need to have a lot of patience. Market will give you opportunities. You don't have to feel that you have been left out either which ways. So again, looking at this particular chart, we have seen such kind of financial crisis many times in the past, be it Asian financial crisis of 97, be it terrorist attacks in the US, 9/11, be it global financial crisis of 2008. But one thing is common, every time the market has corrected, again, it has come up sharply. So if you look at this particular chart from 1995 till 2020, you can see that in spite of all these events, markets have come up. Again, this time because of this pandemic, markets have corrected, and I'm sure that this is not an permanent event. Things will turn good over a period of time. A vaccine will come out. Some kind of medicine will definitely come out. It might take 3 months, 6 months, probably a year's time. So it's a matter of time. You need to stick to fundamental good quality stocks. You need to understand that market will give you good opportunities in the next 3 to 6 months to invest. If you have not invested in last couple of months when the markets were down, so there is no need of doing any kind of panic buying, panic selling. You need to understand that you need to keep calm and patient. So all past corrections look like missed opportunities except this one. So you need to keep a lot of faith. So how do we play this particular scenario? How do we going forward, what needs to be taken care of as far as investments are concerned? So we have seen a lot of volatility in last couple of months. So obviously, I would say that for traders, volatility is the best friend. Again, for long-term investors, it is a good friend because the stocks get cheaper, and over a period of time, if you are a long-term investor, you get a lot of opportunities to invest at different levels on the downside. So the best strategy for investors is to accumulate good fundamental and quality stocks over a period of next few weeks, 2 months. While it is very difficult to predict the bottom of the market, it is always rewarding, that whenever there is a fall in the market, you need to take that particular opportunity. You need to stick to good quality stocks and build your portfolio. So in these kind of scenario where there is a lot of volatility, we understand that cash is king. So whenever you are sitting on good amount of cash, you can always deploy at various levels on the downside. Again, in this kind of a market, you need to understand that you need not go all out and buy the stocks. Let's say, for example, you want to buy, you want to allocate one CR over a basket of 20 to 25 stocks. So at this point in time, you should invest somewhere around 15 to 20% maximum, because we have already seen a good sharp run up of 20-25%. So markets will again correct over a period of time. They will give good amount of time to reinvest at the lower levels. So at this point in time, you should invest anywhere between 10 to 20%, and rest you should wait for the individual stocks to correct, for the markets to correct. So as I told you, cash is king, and it will definitely help you to phase out your investments over a period of next 3 to 6 months. Traders obviously can trade either sides, on the long side as well as the short side, depending upon the trend of the market. So what are the preferred sectors and stocks in this kind of an environment? So at this point in time, when there is a lot of uncertainty, where we have already spoken, we have seen various sectors which would be hammered very badly. So first of all, you need to understand which sectors are the ones which should be completely avoided at this point in time. So as I told you, there are few sectors like aviation, hotels, tourism, autos. These are few sectors which should be definitely avoided at this point in time. So then, what are the sectors which we are looking at this point in time? So FMCG is one sector where even today people are utilizing the essentials, sitting at home. They are ordering food. They are utilizing the food packets of Nestle, Dabur, Tata Consumer. So these are few stocks which we definitely like at this point in time. Though the valuations are on the higher side, but still we feel that going forward, these companies would do better as compared to the other sectors and companies. Again, pharma healthcare is one sector, as I told you in the previous slides, that they would be doing better in coming times, because a lot of these companies are exporting various types of drugs. They are getting orders. So a few companies from the sectors which we like at this point in time are Dr. Reddy's, Ipca Labs, Elchem Labs, Dr. Lal Path Labs from the pathology side, DV's Lab. So all these companies are fundamentally very sound companies. The debt to equity ratio is less, so they are not leveraged. The fundamentals are very sound. So one can have a look at these particular companies. Also, there are a couple of stocks from the insurance space which we like ICICI Lombard from the general insurance space, ICICI Prudential from the life insurance space. One thing one should note is insurance sector will definitely perform better in the years to come. Probably that would one sector which will play in a much better way, because if you look at the demographics, India, the penetration of insurance, life as well as general, is somewhere around 9 to 10%, as compared to the developed economies where the penetration is somewhere around 70 to 80%, which precisely means that only 8 to 9 people out of 100 they have some kind of insurance, maybe life or general insurance. At the same time, in the developed nations, European countries, UK, 70-80 people out of 100 have life insurance. So if you look at this particular space, there is a lot of scope for penetration, further penetration, and especially after this particular pandemic, people will get the awareness that some kind of insurance is very, very important for your family, for your business. So this particular sector should be kept on radar for sure. Telecom sector is one sector which we like at this point in time. Again, because most of the corporates are working from home, most of the businesses are happening over phones. A lot of data is being utilized. So obviously, Geo will be a beneficiary. Bharti Airtel will be a beneficiary. So these couple of stocks which we like are Bharti and Reliance from telecom. Again, we have noticed that crude oil has corrected significantly in last 3 to 4 months. So roughly from $60-65 per barrel levels, crude has corrected almost, it went down to $18 odd recently. So there are few companies, there are few sectors like paints, specialty chemicals, agrochemicals, which typically use crude oil as their raw material. So whenever they use crude oil, they have to buy crude. So obviously, at this point in time, they are going to buy crude at reasonable levels. So their profit margins will increase, their revenue margins will increase because crude has corrected sharply. So from that particular space, we like Asian Paints, we like Pidilite Industries, we like PI Industries from agrochemical space. Again, from the financials, that is private banks and also the NBFCs, the impact of this particular lockdown can be severe going forward. So far, in quarter 4, companies like Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank have declared their Q4 numbers, which were more or less in line. Because as I told you initially, that the impact of lockdown in Q4 on Q4 numbers would not be that severe, but the impact of lockdown on these balance sheets of banks would be severe in Q1. So that's the reason why you need to understand that we need to stay away from high beta stocks like probably IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank at this point in time. You should stick your neck to the strong balance sheets like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. Also from NBFC space, HDFC Limited is one stock which we are liking at this point in time. It's better to stay away from Bajaj Finance at this point in time, primarily because it's an high beta stock. Again, we had a con call with the management, and they themselves don't have clarity as to what would be the numbers in Q1. So till April end, most of the things are factored in. But if the lockdown extends beyond April, let's say 20-25 days of May, or maybe the entire May, and obviously the some portion of June, then the management was very clear that they might not have significant clarity. So again, there would be a lot of volatility in the stock. Traders can get trapped both the sides, long short. So it's better to stay away from high beta stocks at this point in time, and stick your neck to the evolved companies which have strong balance sheets, which have strong management, and which have seen these crises in past, and they have come out of these crises in history. The last sector which I would like to talk upon is technology. Again, there are a couple of stocks which we like from the sector: Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech. Again, the large cap IT space, primarily because most of their revenue is in the dollar terms, and since rupee has depreciated, dollar has appreciated. All these companies would definitely benefit. Also, these are good dividend giving companies. Infosys, the dividend yield is somewhere around 2.8%. TCS is somewhere around 1%. So some kind of allocation in the overall portfolio should go in this particular sector too. So overall, these are our topics from the large cap space, which like HUL, Nestle, Divi's Lab, Bharti Airtel, Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Infosys, HDFC Limited, Ultratech Cement. From the mid cap space, we like Tata Consumer, Elchem Labs, Ipca Labs, ICICI Lombard, Dr. Lal Path Labs. So these are the topics which we are focusing at this point in time. But again, one thing which we would like to clarify is, since the market have come up sharply in last 1 month, almost 25% from the 52-week lows, there is a possibility that the market can take some kind of breather. Already we are at 9,500 levels. We might see 10,000 levels on the upside, but again, it is all unpredictable. It all depends upon the FII flow. It depends upon the DII flow. It depends upon the global news which come out. It depends upon how the lockdown till 3rd May, unwinds, and which all areas are getting operational. There are few regions like the hotspot regions, which are typically categorized as the red regions, especially the cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, where a lot of financial activities happen. So my sense is there would be further lockdown, which will be declared by the Prime Minister. So again, there would be some kind of impact on the markets. Market might again react negatively. So especially for traders, it is very, very important to keep strict stop losses either ways, on the long side as well as on the short side. and trade accordingly. And for the long-term investors, it is very important to understand that you need to phase out your investments over a period of next 3 to 6 months, because already I'm sure many investors must have taken the opportunity of this particular dip. They might have invested at 8,000 levels, 8,200 levels, 8,500 levels, and already they are sitting on 10, 15, 20% profits in few stocks if they have invested. So if you are a long-term investor, definitely hold on to your investments. Again, if there are dips in the market, if the market corrects further, as I told you, for the possible reasons, you can invest in the same set of stocks and build a good portfolio over a period of next 3 to 6 months. So at this point in time, we definitely would suggest you to invest 15 to 20%, not beyond that. Look at the opportunities you get whenever there are dips in the market, whenever there are dips in individual stock prices. You can go and phase out your investments. So this is more or less all from my side. Uh, I would be happy to answer all the questions now. So I will just have a look at what all questions we have, and I will try answering as many as possible. So what is your view on SBI? State Bank of India, again, it's a PSU bank. So as I told you, at this point in time, we prefer the private banks, primarily because of their strong balance sheets. We have seen that the PSU banks have largely underperformed in last 4 to 5 years, especially a lot of banks like PNB, Bank of Baroda, even SBI has underperformed as compared to the private banks. But valuation wise, if you look, definitely the PSU banks are trading at much cheaper valuations as they were trading 4 5 years back. Uh, Something like SBI is available at the price to book of less than one. So definitely you can look at those stocks from a long term perspective, but definitely you can stick to the private banks like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. In case you want to buy SBI, probably you can stagger out in next 3 to 6 months. If there is further correction in the bank, you can look at the opportunity. What is your view on IT sector companies like Tata Elxsi? So as far as IT sector is concerned, as I told you, we are positive on few stocks like Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech. So largely we want to stick our necks to the large caps at this point in time, because as I told you, mid caps would be under pressure at this point in time. In fact, in this particular pullback also, which we have seen, a lot of large caps have come up sharply, but mid caps, not all mid caps have come up. Rather, most of them are still laggards. So the impact of this lockdown on the smaller balance sheets will be more significant. So that's the reason why mid caps have underperformed. So it's better to stick your neck to the large cap sectors. Again, Tata Elxsi is a good stock. Management is good, but I would suggest to stick to large cap at this point in time. You can buy Tata Elxsi over a period of next 2 to 3 months, looking at the market scenario, overall dips in the market. Okay, there is one question that in your presentation it is informed to be away from cement, but it is suggested to buy Ultratech cement. Please clarify. Okay, so basically we have recommended Ultratech cement from the cement space. In fact, we play Ultratech cement as a pseudo infra play, indirect infra play. So obviously cement is one very important thing which goes into the infra space as far as infrastructure is concerned, for construction, for infrastructure. So rather than going directly for a capital goods company, or for playing a infra company, we want to play through the cement space. So that's the reason why we have suggested Ultratech cement. Ultratech being the leader in that particular space, we see that going forward in next couple of years, it would get debt free. And obviously there has been a good track record with a lot of infra projects which are lined up, but because of this lockdown, everything is under a lockdown. So going forward, definitely once the lockdown opens and things get normalized, Ultratech cement would definitely benefit. So we want to play that particular space, cement as well as infra, with the help of UltraTech Cement. In the insurance sector, maybe a claim will be high due to pandemic. How it will affect the insurance sector? That is correct. To an extent, the claims would be higher on the higher side. But again, the stock prices have corrected significantly from 52-week highs. So if you look at HDFC Life, anywhere from 650 levels, it has corrected down to 350 levels. And again, there was a sharp pullback to 500 levels. ICICI Lombard has corrected 40%. SBI Life has corrected. So more or less, most of the things have been factored in. But there is unpredictability that how long this pandemic will get over. So that's the reason why we are not asking you to invest into this particular sector in one go. Let's assume that there are more cases happening in next 1 month and the lockdown extends. Then probably again these stocks will correct. Obviously, the claims would be on the higher side. So that's where you have to take the opportunity and invest in these sectors, in these companies over a period of next 3 to 6 months in 2 to 3 tranches. What is your view on Titan and Bata? So again, both the stocks are from the retail space. As I told you, retail and wholesale, these two sectors will be affected severely. So even today, all the shops are shut. The jewelry shops are shut. So it all depends how this particular lockdown unwinds and what all areas are getting opened, how the businesses start functioning in a normal way going forward. So definitely it will take time for these companies to come up because even though let's assume that the pandemic recedes and coronavirus goes away in next 3 months time, but the fear of this particular virus will be still there in the minds of people. A lot of people might not want to venture out, might not want to visit the malls even if they open up, might not want to visit the cinema halls, might not want to go in for shopping immediately. They might defer their shopping. If someone wants to buy something, they might not do it in next 3 months, 6 months time. They might do it probably later. So there will definitely be impact on the balance sheets. So for short term, the pain will be there, but both the stocks are good. You can accumulate the stocks over a period of 3 to 6 months in dips. The next question is, what is your view on DMart? Again, DMart is a good stock. Valuation wise, it is on the higher side. It has always been trading on the premium valuations, but the business model is such that even in this particular lockdown, they are doing their business. They are supplying the essentials to the consumers. So that has been reflected in the stock price also. If you see, the stock price has not corrected that much. So going forward, the business will keep doing good, but only the valuations are on the higher side. So you need to understand that you can phase out your investments in DMart and invest in 3 to 4 tranches. The next question is on Titan and Bata, which I have already spoken about. Instead of watching skip and taking pain, won't it be easy to just keep investing in mutual funds, say 5,000 per day? So again, the investors need to understand their risk appetite. They need to phase out their investments. They need to understand in which asset class they want to, invest. Whether it is mutual funds, whether it is direct equity, whether it is PMS, or whether it is debt. So you need to have a proper plan. You need to understand your expenses before you invest into the market, and then take proper decisions. So it varies from individual to individual. What is your view on NBCC? So we do not have any active coverage on NBCC, but again, we would recommend to stay away from these high beta stocks at this point in time where there is no clarity in the near term. What is your view on energy stocks like HPCL, IOC? Again, all these stocks have corrected significantly. Oil has corrected significantly. So these particular stocks would be beneficiary to an extent. because their profit margins would definitely increase. They were making somewhere around 5-6 rupees on the retail supply, that is per liter of diesel or oil. That would increase to 10 to 12 rupees. So definitely, short to medium term, there can be a pullback in these stocks. But overall, we would like to stay away from the PSUs, because if you see in last 7 to 8 years, money has not been made in the PSU sector. What is your view on PNB? Definitely stay away from PNB, because the NPS which the company has, the balance sheet has, the stress assets which they are carrying. So definitely stay away from PNB. It's better to stick your neck to the frontline private banks. The next question is, can I invest in Nifty Bs? Definitely, you can invest in Nifty Bs. It is the replica of, it is basically the Nifty ETF. So it is a replica of Nifty 50. So in case you are not well versed with how to pick the stocks, uh, how to pick the sectors, and what all stocks should be bought, sold. So the best alternate is Nifty ETF. What is your view on Bata and Titan? Again, I have answered that question. What is your view on Dabur? So from the FMCG space, Dabur is one good quality stock, but near-term pain will definitely be there because of the lockdown in the rural areas too, where the presence of Dabur is significant. Roughly 30% of the revenues come from the rural areas, 30 to 40%. So obviously, short-term pain will definitely be there, but it's a very sound, fundamental sound company. So you can invest in this company for a long-term period, but medium to short-term, there will be pain in the balance sheet. View on L&T. For long-term, L&T is definitely good. The order book is strong enough. But as I told you, infra space, construction space, short to medium term pain will definitely be there. All the projects are stalled right now. Nothing is going on. So as and when the lockdown unwinds and the things start happening from the construction and infra space, we'll get a better clarity. So from long term perspective, we are positive, but short term to medium term pain will definitely be there. The next question is, what is your view on ITC? ITC again has been a laggard for some time. If you look at the overall FMCG space, HUL, Nestle, Dabur, they have significantly performed in last 2 to 3 years, but ITC has underperformed largely, uh, primarily because major portion of the revenue comes from the cigarette segment. So every year, if you have noticed, the excise duties on cigarettes have increased. So also there is a lot of competition in that particular segment. So the market share of ITC has gone down. So there are a lot of competitors in that particular segment. But apart from the cigarette segment, ITC is venturing out into various other verticals. It is into hotels. Obviously, that has taken a huge beating because of the lockdown. So some kind of impact will definitely be there on the balance sheet. But they are venturing into the FMCG vertical, that is consumption space. So that is one space which will which can do well in the times to come. So from short-term perspective, you can see some kind of pullback. In fact, it has pulled back from 135 levels. It is hovering at 180, 185 levels. If the market sustains, it can come back to 200 to 110 levels. So overall, short-term perspective is more or less positive, but over a longer period of time, ITC, apart from ITC, there are better stocks like HUL and Nestle, which can be looked upon. What about the railway stocks? So at this point in time, we all know that the railways are not working. It's a complete lockdown. We don't have any active coverage on any of the railway stock. So it would be difficult to analyze that what is going to happen in coming quarters. It's better to stay away from all those infra space at this point in time. Is it not good idea to keep buying aviation stocks, as they will be the first one to benefit once the lockdown is over? So aviation, you need to understand that because of the lockdown, it's a complete business which is gone at this point in time. Not a single rupee sale is happening in that particular sector. So obviously, once the lockdown gets unwind and once everything gets normalized, probably the stocks will see a huge pullback. But overall, if you look at the impact of this particular lockdown on the balance sheet, if one particular quarter, if the numbers go for a toss, the entire year will go for a toss. So globally, also many airline companies are trying to file bankruptcy. So it's a very unpredictable event which has happened, and going forward, what impact exactly it will have on the balance sheets of the aviation stocks will be watched very, very closely. So at this point in time, it's better to avoid, uh, let things settle down, and then probably we can take a call at a later stage. What is your view on the metal sector? Again, as I told you, metal sector has corrected significantly, as we saw in the presentation. It has gone down. Most of the stocks have corrected by 50%, and the impact would be still there, because if there's a ripple effect on the economy, then obviously there will be a lot of impact on various sectors, uh, like construction, infra. So obviously the metal space will also take a hit. So short term, medium term pain will definitely be there. Better to stick your neck away from this particular sector for the time being. What is your view on Bajaj Finance? So already have discussed that Bajaj Finance volatility will be there. Long term, definitely it is a good quality stock, but as management themselves have said that they don't have clarity if this particular lockdown extends, what would be the impact on Q1 numbers. So we might see some downside on Bajaj Finance going forward if the numbers are not good. So it's better to stick away from Bajaj Finance for the time being. If you're a long-term investor, then probably you can phase out in 3 to 4 tranches over next 3 to 6 months. Can you suggest sector-wise, stock-wise percentage allocation for investment and time horizon? So as I told you that around 70 to 80% you should have at this point in time in the large cap space. The allocation on the overall portfolio, as far as mid and small cap space is concerned, should be somewhere around 20% maximum, 20 to 30%, not to go beyond that. Again, from the mid cap space, please try to understand that you need to stick to the good quality mid caps at this point in time. Sector wise, if you see, you can have probably 10% allocation, 10 to 15% in FMCG space, 20%, 15 to 20% in banking and NBFC space, technology 10%, pharma 15%. So more or less, that's a broader allocation at this point in time. What is your view on DMart? I have already answered that particular question. View on Sun Pharma. So pharma space we are liking at this point in time. Sun Pharma again can be a beneficiary because it is doing a lot of things as far as the production of manufacturing of various drugs is concerned. So definitely you can look into Sun Pharma from medium to long term perspective. If the lockdown extends, will the market correct? To an extent, definitely that is a possibility. If the lockdown extends, it all depends upon what would be the extent of the further lockdown. So definitely there is a possibility that if the lockdown extends, markets might again take a breather and they might correct from the current levels. What is your view on specialty chemicals? Any stocks? So specialty chemicals, definitely we like that particular space. As I told you that crude has corrected significantly. So there are a lot of stocks which companies which use crude oil as their raw material. So all these companies will be the beneficiaries. The balance sheet would definitely get stronger. Margins would get stronger. Profit margins would improve. So from that particular space, we like PI Industries, we like SRF. So these are a couple of stocks which can be looked upon. what is the reason of Nifty going up? Although the situation is not good as far as pandemic is concerned. So as I told you, these are all bear market rallies. Some kind of valuation emerges. So obviously there are many people who are sitting on cash. So they might have taken the opportunity to pump in some kind of liquidity at lower levels and build onto good quality stocks. So obviously you need to understand that this is an ongoing pandemic and it might be there for a longer period of time. So definitely, depending upon the trend of the market, you need to take bets on your long-term investments as well as your short-term investments. So if you're a trader, you can book accordingly. If you're getting good 10, 15, 20% in less than a month's time, definitely you should book your profits. So typically, this is a bear market rally. We need to understand how things shape up, and we will get a better clarity going forward whether we are completely out of wood, and if this particular rally continues to 10,000, 11,000 levels eventually in coming months, or again we are sliding down to 8,000 levels. What is your view on IDFC First Bank? So IDFC First, again, we would like to avoid at this point in time. As I told you that we would stick to the frontline banks like HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. It's better to stick outer neck. What is your view on banking sector? I have already told you. Pharma sector, I have already spoken about. What is your view on oil companies? I've already spoken about. Titan, again, I've spoken about. Indigo, I've spoken about. What is your view on South Indian Bank? So it is a completely avoid. You can exit from South Indian Bank and switch over to HDFC Bank. DMart, again, I have spoken about. So more or less, it seems that most of the questions are getting repeated now. DMart, again, it's the same thing. IT, again, I've spoken about. So I would like to end this particular session now because it seems most of the questions are getting repeated now. So thank you all of you for joining this session. And as I told you, please do not panic as far as the markets are concerned, as far as this particular pandemic is concerned. Follow rules and regulations accordingly. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.